Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett's back with you here from Lincoln Northeast, a game that was full of some really good plays. Our top plays brought to you by Southeast Community College and our friends at Tom Dinsdale Auto. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the plays from earlier in this basketball game as Kearney and Lincoln Northeast got ready to battle it out here. We saw some even scoring in the first quarter and a three-pointer on the way here for Lincoln Northeast. And we saw this from Jayla Merrill, knock down a few shots. She knocks down that three-pointer. Then Kearney High says, you know, we can do that as well. Here's Kelsey Hatcher to bury the three-point bucket. That moved us into the second quarter, and this is where Kearney really turned things around. I mean, they just took a bomb and put it out to a 26-point lead. As you get the steal by Hatcher, she decides to go all the way in, left-handed layup, and the finish. And Kearney wasn't done. If they weren't stealing the ball, they were hitting three-pointers. Here's our player of the game, Addie Snyder, with one of her multiple threes. Later in the game, she did a little flex, I think, one of the three-pointers as it's stolen away here by Lee. And Kennedy goes in. Everybody that was in contributed offensively in the first three quarters here for Kearney. Well, it's a big lead, but that didn't mean that this game wasn't going to get closer, and it did, despite the N1 here for the Bearcats and Augusta Gans. Lincoln Northeast says, you know what? We can go to the corner. We can knock down a three-pointer, and it's knocked home by Jada Morrell. Down by his 29, they cut it to 20, and then the fourth quarter had a lot of scoring. Here's Hatcher again, one of her multiple threes. She had back-to-back threes there in the fourth quarter. But Lincoln Northeast, once again, Jayla Merrill says, I can knock one down in your face, and that's exactly what Merrill does right here, even though she uses the glass. Knocks down the three-pointer. And finally, Hatcher says, here's two in a row right back at you. And Kearney High goes on for the 66-44 victory. Nice performance tonight, equaling their highest point total of the year, Brandon.
Really did, and for Kearney High, exactly what you were hoping for. Lots of turnovers, lots of three-pointers. They were able to do it. For the Rockets, they really struggled in the second quarter, especially. They had 8 turnovers in the second quarter alone. Then they had a little bit of a better ball control in the third quarter, but then 5 fourth quarter turnovers. They ended up with 8 for the second half plus 8 for the second quarter. They ended up with a total of 22 turnovers for Lincoln Northeast. And for the Bearcats, they were able to capitalize on so many of them, most of them in transition, easy layups or out-wing threes.
Our top plays brought to you by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu now and discover your path to possible. Well, we're getting ready for the boys game that's coming up next here on News Channel Nebraska. And as we said, we had some points in our girls game. We expect even more in the boys game.
I hope the scoreboard operator and the official scorebook have eaten their Wheaties today, maybe popped a 5-hour energy just to try and get through the game. We could see a lot of points scored. For Kearney High, they're averaging just over 70. Lincoln Northeast is averaging just under 70. If you have 70 and 70, that's a lot of points for both teams combined tonight.
Well, tell everybody it's on NCN. Get on Twitter at NCN Sports. We're there on X at NCN Sports. We'll take a quick break here on News Channel Nebraska, get set up for the boys game, and we're looking forward to a dandy. Again, thanks to our coaches, Coach Van Engen, Coach Danielson, 66-44, Kearney the winner in our girls game. We'll get you ready for this Heartland Conference boys game coming up next here on NCN.
Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't just see anyone, see the trainer. From bracing to home health and rehab products, they provide the right solutions to keep you moving. Whether it's a chronic condition or sudden injury, their expert team will help you find the perfect fit. With a wide range of in-stock orthopedic, sports medicine, or rehabilitation products, See the Trainer is dedicated to improving your quality of life. Visit the professionals at See the Trainer in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
This broadcast is brought to you by Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevy in Aurora. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
We got your back.
Teammates Mentor proudly serves 10,000 students in 192 chapters across Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, South Dakota, and Wyoming. But we need your help.
We're recruiting Teammates Mentors to help our students reach their full potential.
Meeting with a student once a week can make a positive impact in their life and create a ripple effect in our communities.
Go to teammates.org to learn how you can get involved. Join the team, be a mentor.
This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. NCN Sports is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Liberty First Credit Union. Find out more at LibertyFirstCU.com. And by Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor. Visit teammates.org today.
And we're moving all around the gymnasium here at Lincoln Northeast. Once again, Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett, as we get ready for the boys portion of tonight's Heartland Athletic Conference doubleheader. Kearney High and Lincoln Northeast. Let's start with Kearney High, Brandon. Here's a Bearcat team that many expected had a great shot to make the state tournament, still do, but they have a couple blemishes. Preseason number 3, and they're trying to bounce back from a loss to undefeated Scotts Bluff last weekend.
Probably not a loss that the Kearney High Bearcats would have expected on their bingo card to lose to the Scotts Bluff Bearcats, but sometimes good shooting teams just shoot well, and that's exactly what happened for Kearney High. They lost to a better shooting Bearcat team.
Lincoln Southwest put up 81 points in a lot of one-on-one matchups. Kearney coach Drake Moronic said they really had to work on their help side defense, and then Scotts Bluff made 14 three-pointers as they were trying to clog up the lane. You take a look at Lincoln Northeast. They're 4-1. Their only loss, they scored 83 points in a one-point heartbreaker against Lincoln North Star.
Really, if you look at all of the different talent that's on Lincoln Northeast, it starts with a man bringing the ball up the floor, one of the best, if not the best point guards. He knows not just how to score, but where to find the ball through all the different holes. Lincoln Northeast can hit you from so many different angles.
Well, let's take a look at those key players of the game, and that man that you're speaking of is Lazarick Houston. He started here at Northeast. He went over to North Star for a year, now come back to play with his buddies again, and has made, as you said, a huge difference. He can get you over 20 points a game. He's going to be going on to play somewhere, hasn't made that decision yet, but he's obviously the man that gets us going and why they can get 80 points a game. They've got 4 players in double figures. It isn't just him.
20 points a game, as you mentioned, double digits in assists, exactly what you would want for a point guard, not just knowing when to score, but knowing when and where to put the ball.
And then one of the reasons Kearney High was ranked in the top 5 in the preseason was experience coming back. Our player to watch here is Ben Johnson, who is going to Fort Hays State. Now, he is averaging the double-double and one of 2 players that is scoring 20 points a game.
For him, he's scoring almost 24. Weber is scoring just over 21 points a game. The key for Kearney High, can they find that third score? The last time these two teams played, Weber had double digits and Ben Johnson had double digits. They had a third score in double digits. If Kearney High can find that, it'll be a win for the Bearcats. That's going to be their key tonight. Can they find score number 3?
Now, Jacob Weber, just a junior, and he is getting interest from all over the country. Division I in the top 50 to 75 of players across the country in his junior class after having just an outstanding summer. But he has had a couple of games like Southwest where the ball just didn't go in the hole for him. But when he gets going, he lights it up.
There was a T-shirt back in the 90s that says, if you're a shooter and you want to shoot, shoot till you're on. And if you're a shooter, shoot till you're off, and then shoot until you're back on again. That's Jacob Weber in a nutshell. He's going to keep shooting until he's on. Hopefully he stays on if you're a Bearcat fan.
Could be a real fun one tonight. We're looking forward to bringing it to you. Lincoln Northeast and Kearney High coming up next on NCN.
This broadcast is brought to you by Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevy in Aurora. And by News Channel Nebraska. Want to know which games we're televising each week? Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
There's a noticeable difference when you walk into Tom Dinsdale Automotive. You can't miss the exceptional customer service that we're known for, or the huge emphasis we place on providing unsurpassed vehicle service with experienced technicians and quality parts. And of course, we think big when it comes to giving back to the community that has supported us for so many years. It's our year-end closeout sale. Stop by any Dinsdale location and save thousands on remaining 2024 inventory. These incredible low prices won't last long, so hurry in now. Stop into Dinsdale Automotive today.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
This broadcast is brought to you by Tom Dinsdale Auto. Celebrating 20 years, Tom Dinsdale Automotive is proud to be community-driven. And by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
More than 80 communities across the state count on Nebraska Public Power District to power their every day. And like a dependable neighbor, we work tirelessly to make our communities a better place to live. From preparing them for economic growth, to partnering in local events, to educating tomorrow's workforce, we are charged with creating community connections that are just as trusted and reliable as the electricity we provide. NPPD, powering our state, empowering our communities.
Well, we're back here for boys basketball. Let's take a look at these two schools in the Heartland Athletic Conference. First of all, Kearney, which we always think is right in the middle of the state, but it's still 4.5, 5 hours to Scottsbluff, where they were last week.
For Kearney High, they have traveled all over. Nice to be able to get to the Panhandle, where they not just played the team from the Panhandle, they also played one of the top teams from Wyoming. Good experience to get Class A Nebraska basketball and Class A Wyoming basketball for Kearney High.
And then you take a look at Lincoln Northeast, one of the many schools right here in the capital city. The Rockets, you look up on the board here. They've had the state boys basketball player of the year a while ago at Alton Mason, but they won 4 consecutive Class A state championships from 95 through 98. Now they're trying to get back to a spot, and they got a really good basketball team so far this year. That is our school spotlight, brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. We'll take a look at the starting lineups right after this.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. Browse our full lineup of new Ram trucks like the rugged 2025 Ram 1500. And take advantage of our current offers going on right now. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations in Blair or Bellevue today. Serving our customers since 1991, Woodhouse is your trusted Ram dealer.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
And welcome back to Jones Gymnasium here at Lincoln Northeast. Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett with you on NCN Television. Good crowd on hand for this final Saturday matchup of the season, and this could be a nail-biter. You've got the Kearney High Bearcats, the road team, coming in with a record of 5-2 against the Rockets of Lincoln Northeast, who are 4-1. And our starting lineup brought to you by Medica. With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for. First off, for Kearney tonight, they had a decision to make here. They're going to go with number 1, Jake Krotzel. Jake is going to get the start. He is followed by number 3 in Jacob Weber. Weber averaging over 20 points a game. We talked about him. Number 24 is Keegan Hunt. Number 31, is Keegan Hunt. Then you've got Ben Johnson, number 44, the leading scorer on this team. So you take a look at Leighton Piter, 6'3", junior as well, rounding out the starting lineup, coached by Drake Bronick in his 10th season. His college roommate is Monty Ritchie. After Drake went to play for the Huskers after his time at UNK, they were roommates there. So let's go with number 3, 6'3" and junior is Easton Schweitzer. Number 11, 6'3" senior is Mo Abdallah. Number 12, 6'3" junior is Grant Fredericks. Number 22, 6'2" junior is Hayden Tenneper. And number 24, 6'1" senior, Lazarick Houston. Monty Ritchie, the head coach in his 7th year here with the Rockets. Our starting lineups brought to you by Medica. Neither team with a ton of height. Ben Johnson going to have to control the boards, one of the keys in the ball game tonight for Kearney High.
For Ben Johnson, not just does he almost score 24 points a game, he has just shy of 10 rebounds per game. He also has 29 assists, so he's the old Larry Bird point forward. You're going to see him really play all 5 positions across the line for Kearney High. He's even the man doing the jump. He can do everything for Kearney High. He will go as Kearney High goes, and does he have enough horsepower around him for a Kearney High win?
We're ready to get our high school basketball action underway. Brought to you by John Henry's, our family, serving yours. And Kearney will win the opening tip. And Ben Johnson, kind of unusual that he handles the ball as much as anybody out front, especially when there's some pressure. Man-to-man here early on from the Rockets, and it's going to be Abdallah to put the pressure on Johnson. Can Weber get off to a good start here? They get him down on the post. Good defense just to start the game here for the Rockets. And there's Weber down the low block against Houston. Bumps off him twice and puts it over the rim and in. And that's one of the weird things. You do not see Weber shoot a lot of shots like that where he posts up. They're three-pointers, they're steals, they're transitions. He'll shoot a lot of threes, and he gets off to a good start here for Kearney, 2-0.
Little bit of a wrinkle there. Nice to see head coach Drake Bronick add some things in, find a way for a talented player to get the ball.
Houston forces one up on the baseline. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Kearney comes away with the defensive rebound. They want to run it out into the corner. Spot up 3 on the way and good. Knocking down the three-pointer is Piter. Leighton Piter getting the start. I know he'd been a little ill. He and Tyson Cabela. You'll see Cabela come in early in this one. Kind of some rotation after those top 3 for Kearney. Kearney defense trying to get their crowd going here. A 5-0 lead for the Bearcats. Ball knocked away, but into the scorer's table on the hustle there by Keegan Hunt. This is Kearney's style, to use their grit, toughness, mental fortitude against teams that have maybe more athleticism in Lincoln and Omaha. And Coach Ritchie doesn't like it already. We're only a minute 17 in, and he wants to talk to his team. 6:43 to go in the first. Kearney is off to a 5-0 lead here on NCN.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
All right, Coach Ritchie with the short talk with his young men. Trying to run a little high 1-4 here. Off the screen, driving the baseline, and we're going to get a foul called. Weber got all ball, so I don't think that's where the foul is. We're going to see some free throws. Yeah, Keegan Hunt. You'll see here on the replay, Hunt gets him. Maybe he puts his hand on his hip. Weber slaps the ball down, but Keegan Hunt with the foul. And Abdallah puts the free throw up, no good. But I think, Brandon, you are going to see, at least by scouting Kearney High, a lot of opportunities, athleticism, one-on-one, like we saw with Lincoln Southwest a couple of weeks ago. Second free throw good, and Northeast is on the board.
And the talent for Kearney High is very concentrated. Weber scores over 20. Ben Johnson scores over 20. For the Rockets, much more spread out. Schweitzer with 15, Abdallah with 13, Fredericks with 11, Tenneper with a little over 5, and of course Houston with almost 20. Lots of diffused scoring for the Lincoln Northeast.
Well, Kearney turns it over. The ball went right through Weber's hands. So now Northeast, Kearney man-to-man. Coach Moronic, his father Paul, that's what they played. That's what he wants to play. Driving in right to the front of the rim, and the layup is good for Abdallah. So Abdallah gets the first bucket of the ball game. Pull up three in transition. Weber short. Then he tries to follow. Deflects it away. Houston has it. 3-on-2 the other way. Zarek, ooh, he got fouled. They let it go. They're going to get a three in the corner, and it's an air ball. And then Hunt throws it right into the hands of Schweitzer. Gives it off for the layup. Sometimes Kearney wants to go too quick. Didn't see the defender. And now we're tied at 5. Hunt pushes it up the floor. Krotzel, who can hit that three. It's no good for the left corner. That's one thing, you may not need the shot clock in this basketball game. You're open, both teams will shoot it. Here's Houston, weaves his way through the gold maze and gets the layup. And he's so good that if you do slide with some backside help, he's going to dish it off and somebody's going to get a layup. So you've got to stop that dribble drive before he gets into the paint. Now Johnson drives in and flushes it. And Johnson says, right back at you.
If you are just tuning into this game and you don't have a dog in the fight, you don't live in Kearney, you don't live in Lincoln, you're just looking for good basketball, this is going to be a good game. Pick a team, root for them. Don't pick a team, just watch. There's going to be some really good basketball tonight, and here we are, the best seat in the house.
Everything running through Houston. He almost traveled. The official put his arm up, didn't call it. Shots on the way, no good. Johnson, another rebound. He'll scoop it out to Weber. 2-on-2. Jacobs going to take it in, and the foul going to be called on Schweitzer. They'll give free throws here to Weber. Yeah, no doubt about that one. Our instant replay brought to you by our friends at Mead Lumber, making you feel at home from design to finish. Free throw, Weber, good. He is a good free throw shooter. Kearney, a pretty good free throw shooting team so far this year. Turner Bertrand checks in. We talked about Cabela. Bertrand has signed to play football at Washington State. Kearney High, obviously a great football season. Lost to the state champs in the semifinals. The only two losses they had all year were to Millard South. Free throws down, 9-7. Zarek Houston brings up with the left hand. Takes it at Bertrand, cuts off the lane. Jump pass back out on the right wing. Marshawn Jefferson also came in during that break. Abdallah, he wants that one-on-one. Good coverage that time by the Bearcats and Piter. Drive and kick. Little shuffle, 3-over-3, no good. Bertrand pulls down the rebound quickly. Piter into the front court. Weber, pull up three. There it is. Jacob Weber with his first three of the ball game. So Kearney had the first 5 of the game. They've had the last 5 in between the Rockets with 7, 12-7 Bearcats.
And that completes the trifecta for Jacob Weber. You saw him score down low. He has 2 free throws, now a three-pointer.
And there's Eric Houston answering right back with a step-back 3 over Cabela, who had pretty good defense on him. Ben Johnson handling it 25 feet away from the hoop. Kicks it over. Cabela's going to try the 3, and it's good. Tyson Cabela. And that's why we think this game should easily be in the 70s. Who can play the better defense? Over the extended hand of Bertrand, no good. The three-pointer by Houston. Rebound by Weber. Weber stutter dribble. He's going to take this to the rack and score. Boy, and there was good closeout that time by the defense. Coach Moronic thought maybe there was a little contact. He's getting the eye of the official. The official's looking back at him. He sees each other. With the Bearcats now up by 7. 3 to try and answer that, no good. Johnson brings down the rebound off the missed 3 by Schweitzer. And Brandon, it just takes a make on one end, a miss on the other, and you can have a heck of a turnaround. Fighter score, no good.
So much about this game is and will be about rhythm. Is the shooter in rhythm? Is the team in rhythm? Is the coach, is the program in rhythm? Can they find the right rhythm and sustain that long enough?
And Houston step back 3, and he's got some wars in the corner for Cabela. Got a good little matchup between Bertrand and Harris, probably just giving their big men some breather, filling some space out there for a little while. Cabela tries to swing it through the paint, nowhere to go. Houston the steal, up ahead, Abdallah with the bucket. And 5 in a row for the Rockets, 17-15. Johnson brings it up, and a little too handsy there for Abdallah. And that's going to be his first foul. Kratzel and Hunt back in for Kearney. Here comes Tenneper in for the Rockets. And you're going to see Miles Parra check in as well. So if you're going to play this pace, you better have a little depth, Brandon.
And you hope that the trainer did a good job, because there was a long break, a lot of prime rib, a lot of turkey over the Christmas holiday, trying to get everybody back on the floor, back and focused. Usually that last game before and the first game back. But in this case, we've seen 2 teams go at each other. Not a whole lot of rest to knock off right now.
Now be careful. They don't all eat like you do.
What? No one had prime rib and turkey?
Back in for Lincoln Northeast. Here comes Grant Fredericks. Our replay brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Incredible care, incredibly close. And just like that, the Rockets can take the lead with a 3. Here's Cole Kaufman. Kaufman back between the circles. Again, a big thank you to our first quarter sponsor, John Henry's, our family, serving yours. Great group of sponsors that allow us to bring you high school sports throughout the year. Here on News Channel Nebraska Television, Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett's with you from Lincoln Northeast. Lob it down low. Harris with the left hand catch. He's too deep. Cut off there by Kratzel. Shot clock down to 5. Harris is going to have to make the move. Left hand scoop, no good. Deflected to Ben Johnson. Good defense by Kratzel. Into the front court, Ben Johnson. Off the screen, spin move, 360, decides to kick it in the corner. Hunt for 3, it's going to be well short. And so the Bearcats' hot run has ended. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Fredericks pushes it up on the right wing. Tenneper back out to Cole Kaufman. I think since that timeout, Northeast has settled down a little bit here. They see what they want to do. Parra for 3, no. And the ball hit the standard, so it's out of bounds. Here at Northeast, rarity that you see it, but there are some schools that have that long tarp type cable that is down there instead of just the metal extensions, and it will bump on that once in a while, and that's exactly what happened there. Kearney, ooh, they already threw one away right underneath their own hoop for a layup. About did it again. And now staying right there, the ball hawk. Abdallah's got another steal. 3 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. Houston brings it back up, sees the shake and bake, and takes it in for another layup. Just blew right by the Kearney High defender. 7 in a row for the Rockets. We're tied at 17 with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Johnson's just going to dribble out some time here. Try to force him to the left hand is Abdallah. Got Houston on Weber. Johnson got by the defender. He's just going to take it all the way in. Right move and score. Still some time here for the Rockets if they hustle it up. Houston, midcourt, behind the back. Oh, and a cheapo foul on Kearney with 1 second. So the foul's going to be on Piter. So the Rockets get an inbounds play here. You're going to get a little bit better look, you would think, than what Houston was going to have to throw up there. Everybody throwing in some subs here just to give the starters an extra second of break, like Slaymaker for Kearney. Can they get a good shot? Oh, the dribble, that's after the buzzer. That should not count. Yeah, the officials are on that. Only one official of the three made the call. I was a little worried.
Well, we had an entire gym full of officials.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's no good, but we've got a heck of a first quarter. It's Kearney High 19, Lincoln Northeast 17. You're listening to Heartland Athletic Conference basketball and watching it right here on NCN.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com and by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on Twitter at NCN Sports for more highlights, interviews, rankings, and our full schedule.
Hi, I'm Baylor Shireman, proud to call Aurora, Nebraska home. From dreaming big in a small town to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, I've always aimed for the best. That's why I rely on Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevrolet in Aurora for my vehicles. When you're driven to succeed, you choose a winning team. Before you drive away in your next car, check with the team that knows how to win. Roe, it's the Roe you know.
Get to Roe.
Well, we've seen a little bit from both of the quote stars of the team. Houston setting it up with Abdallah for Lincoln Northeast, Weber and Johnson for Kearney High. All had good first quarters.
2 words, as advertised. Mo Abdallah 7 points, Lazarick Houston 10. He averages just shy of 20, so he already has half of his allotted game. For the Kearney High Bearcats, a little bit more spread out. That could be key.
Houston trying to work on Johnson. Tough three in the corner and hit it. What do? That's just a great play by Houston. So Houston and Abdallah, all 20 of the Rockets' points. Their second lead. Weber tries to beat him back and hits the tough contested shot. Great start. Great start to this second quarter of play. Ooh, Houston lost his hand. He was looking to make a pass. Lost control. Johnson in the corner to Weber. Looking at that three-point line. Can't get the shot. Tries to fire it back underneath and cover in the lane. Abdallah steal up to Houston. Foul on Krotzel to save the layup. But 2 free throws coming up for Zarek Houston. Our second quarter on NCN is brought to you by O Street Carpet. See Steve Carper and the crew at O Street Carpet.
Doug, we mentioned it at the outset. Kearney High scores just over 70 points. Lincoln Northeast scores just under 70. Here we are, just a little less than a minute into the second quarter. We're on our way to 80 for both teams.
Well, Kearney High has decided to use a full timeout here for Coach Baranek. I don't know if he saw something that Coach Ritchie did, but I think in the end, Kearney would be the one that would want to slow this game down just a little bit, play better defense. That's the MO of Coach Baranek. We'll talk about that and more when we come back on NCN.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame, these Class A coaches, because they see each other more. I mean, if you're in a conference, that's one thing, but even if you're not in the Heartland Athletic Conference, you're in the Metro. So most of these coaches know each other, but when you're roommates in the last couple of years in college, there's not much that gets between these two and Coach Ritchie and Coach Baranek.
Kind of makes you wonder what the prop bet is, because roommates have their own code. They have their own way of getting at each other. Got to find out who has to do the push-ups or who has to wear the whatever because they lost.
A 1 of 2 at the line that time for Houston. That knots us up at 21. It's a good blackjack hand. Minute into this second quarter. Johnson over to Hunt. Kearney's got their original 5 out there. Lincoln Northeast countering with theirs. Krautzel up top. Rockets in the man-to-man. Johnson. Abdallah's got to be careful. He already picked up 1 foul. Don't want to get a cheapy second here. Johnson knows it. He's going to be fouled on the backside. That should be Fredericks. And we're going to get 2 free throws. That's exactly the case. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we've got stats, highlights, and a whole lot more brought to you by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. Johnson can't get the first one to fall. Again, in the girls' game, if you missed that, Kearney won it 66-44. Big second quarter was the difference in that game. Really, the other 3 quarters were pretty competitive, Brandon, but Kearney blew the doors off in that second quarter.
And you do not want to face Lincoln Northeast girls for the next couple of years. Not only do they have a 6'2 freshman, they've got a point guard freshman. That's a lot of talent that are sophomores, juniors, and even a bunch of freshmen for the Rockets.
Great pass underneath. Tenneper to Fredericks, and then Kearney trying to go too quick, and now the officials determining whether they had an illegal inbounds or not. They're going to say nope. Kearney High never stepped out of bounds with the ball, so they can take it out here. And Northeast not applying any pressure. They'll just pick up man-to-man at midcourt. And again, that's something to watch Ben Johnson at 6'7". Go to Fort Hays State, handle the basketball, and get the offense rolling. Over to Piter. Back out to Ben, ball screen, Weber, paint open, in corner, Krautzel for the 3, it will not go. Hunt, offensive rebound, back to Krautzel, looking at the corner, another open 3, Piter all the way down and out, no. Rebound brought down by Houston. Rockets by 1, biggest lead's been 2. Faking the 3, Fredericks drives over low to the right side, Kearney on the man-to-man, Abdallah got open, Johnson blocks it and takes it away, 2-on-2, Hunt decides not to attack. He'll find Weber, back to Johnson. They'll set it up in the half court. Takes a lot of discipline there, Brandon, to not just put your head down and head to the hoop, no matter what the numbers are. Johnson trying to get free to Weber off the back cut. Krautzel puts it in with the left hand. He'll draw the foul. Houston got him on the wrist, they say. 2 free throws for Jake. First on Houston. Again, haven't had a lot of fouls, but we're only at the 5:36 mark here of the first half. A lot coming up at halftime, including the highlights brought to you by Sartor-Hyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. Krautzel knocks it down, ties it at 23. Harris back in for Lincoln Northeast, may give him a little bit more down in the block. Second free throw also good. So Krautzel hits them both. Back and forth affair. Kearney was up by 7 at 17-10. We are going to get an over and back here. Houston jumped in the air and then threw it backwards. I don't know about this one, Brandon. Let's see if the boys can show us the replay in the truck here of this one. I think you have to establish possession in the front court. See, I don't think that's over and back.
You have to have all 3 points. You have to have your right leg, your left leg, and the ball. And then you have to go back across all 3 for it to be over and back.
Well, Turner Bertrand knows what a fumble looks like, and he dives right on the basketball here. We're going to get a jump ball. It'll be Kearney. Kind of got caught up there in the feet of Ben Johnson. Bertrand jumps on it, tied up. Kearney basketball.
Men, I would not want to try to scrum for a fumble. Top of that list would probably be Turner Bertrand. 6'7".
At least here in this basketball game.
6'7", 300 pounds, not what I want to have happen right after all the Thanksgiving and Christmas prime rib.
Weber on the block against the double team. Ends up on the ground. Ball's over the rim. No good. Abdallah with the rebound. Run out in the right-hand corner for Jefferson. Tries to get Abdallah. Pull-up jumper from 8. In and out. No good. And Johnson is getting almost every rebound right now for Kearney, especially on the defensive end.
Exactly what you would expect. He's averaging almost 10 rebounds a game.
Then drives, dishes. Oh, a little too high for Kearney. Nice save. Jake, nice save in the corner there. Showing the athleticism of his mother as the jumper is on the way by Weber. I say that as his father sits 1 foot away from me. but can't get the ball to go. Houston, between three players, gets the three away, but it's well off. Baseball pass to the other end. Here's Jake going in and scoring. So the Bearcats now up 26-23.
Ben Johnson can rebound, he can shoot, he can score, he can dunk, and I think he just threw his first touchdown pass.
Three, Abdallah won't go. Well, he's a great get. He's a great get for Fort Hays State. And it's something to talk about because Brandon and I know Kearney a little bit better than we know Lincoln Northeast. A lot of folks going, well, why didn't he stay home? Another MIAA team. Well, UNK just isn't at the spot where it's probably a whole lot of fun to play yet. Coach Marty Levinson will get that program turned around, but when you've won 5 games each of the last 2 years, it's hard. And sometimes you just want to get away from home too. And in the transfer portal era, maybe he plays 1 or 2 years at Hayes and comes home. Never know. Coach Baranek did that. Played at UNK and moved on. 3-pointer, no go. Abdallah has turned cold. Johnson gets the rebound. So since that Kearney timeout, the Rockets have really struggled to score. Kratzel for 3, and he's got it. 5 in a row for Jake. And Kearney's on another 7-0 run. They lead it 29-23.
Talked about it at the top of the broadcast, Doug. We have to find a third option for Kearney High scoring. And right now for Kratzel, he has 6 points just in the second quarter.
Foul on the Bearcats. Cabello will check in, give Ben Johnson a breather. It is the second foul here on Piter. So Northeast to throw it in. Scoreboard reads 29-23. Kearney with the lead. Here's Houston forcing the issue, but boy, can he make great moves. It won't go. Bertrand has it. And you can tell Northeast is getting a little frustrated. That ball won't go through the cylinder. Cabela over to Kratzel. Back cut. Weber up. Foul. Boy, what a nice lob in there from Kratzel. And 2 free throws coming up. Weber runs into our NCN cameraman. Right into your front porch right here. He looks okay. We hire him tough. Weber, I don't know why we're up here. The cameramen are tough. That's why we're up here. Weber knocks down the free throw. Johnson back in for Northeast. Here comes Cole Kaufman. And they're going to give Houston a little bit of a breather here. Kearney now for their biggest lead of the game. And it goes. Weber knocks it home. 31-23. Kearney now by 8. And on a 9-0 run. Where can Northeast find some points? They've got their 2 leading scorers on the bench right now, Brandon. Both Abdallah and Houston are over on the bench. Trying to force somebody else to get going. So the 3 on the way. Teneper no good. Tipped out. Kearney's got a chance to make a heck of a run now before halftime. This is danger zone territory here for Northeast. Left baseline with it. Cut off is Johnson. Back up top. Entry to Weber. Bounces in. Runs into Harris. Good D by Harris, but Weber scored. You're not going to move Harris. Jacob Weber's not going to move Harris anyway.
And for Jacob Weber, he can beat you with the long ball. He's tall, 6'6", and he can jump. So many ways to be athletic to get the ball in the hole.
Boy, that ball just is not going in for Northeast. Another 3 missed, another 1 and done. Cabela walked, tried to come to a little jump stop, and Johnson hit the 3 as you saw, but it does not count. An 11-0 run by Kearney High. And I guess one of the things for folks that haven't seen Lincoln Northeast is really how good is Northeast. After a 9-win season last year, you get Houston back on the team, but you don't know about half the teams they've played. They started with 3 teams in Missouri, both Blue Springs and Grain Valley, and they won them all, but they gave up about 60 points a game in those games too. And then they thumped Grand Island 82-60 and lost to North Star 84-83. So how good is this team? They're trying to find out now, and finally the streak is over on the 3-pointer by Teneper. That'll end the Bearcat 11-0 run with 90 seconds to go in a half. Coming up at half, we've got our highlights. We've got some score updates for you. So stay with us for that. Johnson tries to make a behind-the-head pass. He thought Jacob Weber was all by himself. He wasn't. Now we're going to get a jump ball. And the arrow points the way of Northeast
If there is one thing Kearney High really needs to work on in the halftime locker room, is turnovers. Rockets only have 2. Kearney High have been sloppy with the ball. That's 6. Probably should have been a 7th except for the jump ball. But really for Kearney High, their biggest chink in the armor so far. They have 6 turnovers. Sometimes they get a little loosey-goosey with the ball.
Well, that's a pass you're not going to see Ben Johnson attempt very often. But he thought he had drawn the double team, so he was just going to throw it back to Jacob Weber, and Parra was right in the middle of that. So the Rockets, who were down 10, hit the 3. Should have 2 more possessions here, 2-1. Can they gain 2 or 3 more points before halftime? Abdallah against Johnson, jump stop, Euro step, kicks it out in the corner. Teneper for 3, back-to-back threes. They call it a Euro step. I still call it a travel. If Kearney does that, or Lincoln Northeast, can't leave your feet and come down with the basketball. Layup no good, but Johnson got the rebound in traffic, knocked out of his hands. It'll be Kearney ball. 5 seconds difference between the game and the shot clock. Checking in, Schweitzer again. But back-to-back threes, Brandon goes from 10 to 4 just like that, and Northeast should get 1 more possession even if there's only 4 or 5 seconds left.
It's amazing how much momentum can swing if you score a bucket. And not just a 2-point bucket, that 3, just that 1 extra point makes a big, big difference.
But Weber throws a little water on the fire, and there's some more discussion between him and Teneper. Last possession, most likely, of the first half. Shot clock off. But Northeast going to take it right to the rack. Layup partially blocked by Krotzel. Getting his own miss is going to be Fredericks. They'll set it out. Fredericks will try a 3. Didn't block that one. Rebound brought down by Hunt. He'll go to Johnson with 14. So they took the chance. I like the drive. Then taking the 3, maybe you wanted to wait, but it was an open shot. Johnson, 6, drives. Weber for back-to-back threes. Yes, sir, and we're at halftime. So Teneper hit first 2 threes for Northeast, and then Weber comes out and drills back-to-back threes, and the lead goes back from 4 to 10. So the 3-point parade continues here at Jones Coliseum at Lincoln Northeast. It has been entertaining. We're not on quite the pace to get into the 80s yet, but Kearney's defense and Lincoln Northeast just missed some shots. They had some open looks. They missed some threes. The big difference is, Brandon, I think Kearney just made more looks. Nothing special about the way the looks were for either team. Kearney just made 3 or 4 more than Lincoln Northeast.
And really, at the end of the second quarter, you saw both teams be undisciplined in their own way. For Kearney High, they were turning the ball over. You had the sloppy behind-the-head pass. Really didn't do a whole lot. They were loosey-goosey with the ball, had 6 turnovers. For the Rockets, again, to your point, I really like the drive. Be aggressive at the end of the second quarter, and if you can't get it, pull it back out, play for that last shot because the shot clock was off. They decided to throw it around, then shoot the 3-pointer, miss that. Then Weber comes down, hit the 3. That could have been a 6-point swing in the game. So for the Rockets and the Bearcats at the very end of the quarter, they got a little undisciplined in their own way.
All right, your score at the half in this Heartland Athletic Conference boys contest. The Kearney Bearcats 39, the Rockets of Lincoln Northeast 29. We'll be back with your halftime highlights brought to you by Sauter Heyman. Statistics and more right after this on NCN.
There's a noticeable difference when you walk into Tom Dinsdale Automotive. You can't miss the exceptional customer service that we're known for, or the huge emphasis we place on providing unsurpassed vehicle service with experienced technicians and quality parts. And of course, we think big when it comes to giving back to the community that has supported us for so many years. It's our year-end closeout sale. Stop by any Dinsdale location and save thousands on remaining 2024 inventory. These incredible low prices won't last long, so hurry in now. Stop into Dinsdale Automotive today.
Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett, thanks to Danny Alvarado taking care of all the production of today's ball game. It's time for our halftime highlights. 39-29, Kearney leading Lincoln Northeast. Our highlights brought to you by Starter Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. When we got off to a hot start here, Kearney wastes no time into the corner. Three-pointer, Piner gets it going for the Bearcats. Then Lincoln Northeast, and what a first quarter it was from Zarek Houston, the All-Stater, maybe the best point guard in Class A. Kearney says, don't worry about it. I'm going to take it right to the rack, and Ben Johnson headed to Fort Hays State with an early two-hand flush. And Kearney High says, how about Jacob Weber? Can I get hot? After missing a couple early, he knocks down a couple of three-pointers, one of them right there. Houston says, okay, let's get this horse game going. And he knocks down a three-pointer of his own. Good lob down on Harris. Houston one more time. Crossover, step back. Tough to defend that one, and nothing but net for Houston. Ben Johnson drives in again, off the window, and scores. So a lot of buckets inside and outside, and then Johnson says, watch me put this right on the money to Jake Krotzel. Wasn't pure, but it went in. And Krotzel had a little run there with a 2, a 3, and an assist in about 30 seconds. On the other end, how about the three-point bucket on the way, Tenneper. And then Tenneper says, here you go, back-to-back threes. That cut it from 10 right down to 4. And then that's when Jacob Weber says, how about the inbounds? Sploosh. As Brandon said, the Rockets took a quick shot at the other end. And Weber says, how about one more before halftime? And we're back to 10. And that was the final points of the first half. Kearney 39 and Lincoln Northeast 29. And Weber, if he can just get it going, he's like Houston. When either one of them get it going, Brandon, they're hard to stop. And you got a few of the numbers for us.
And you said it exactly midway through the second quarter. Sometimes a good player is just going to have good plays. For Lazarick Houston, he had a big first quarter. He had 10 points. After that, cooled off a little bit. He did have that one crossover three that we saw in our highlight package. And after that, just one free throw. He leads the Rockets right now with 14 points. Other than that, Mo Abdullah has 7, and then 6 for Hayden Tenneper with those 2 threes, and then 4 for Grant Fredericks. So you only see 2 players score in the first quarter, 4 players score in the second quarter. And then overall, for the Rockets, there's their 29 points. For Kearney High Bearcats, you saw Jacob Weber, 9 points in the first quarter, scored all 3 ways, from the free throw line, turnaround jumper, and a three-pointer. And then, of course, that big splash 3 at the very end of the half. 12 points in the second quarter alone. He leads all scorers, 21 points. That's his average for the game right now, Doug.
That's a hot one for Weber, no doubt about it. Our halftime brought to you by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. We'll be back with more from Lincoln Northeast right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by Platte Valley Auto. With our vast selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, exceptional car care, and custom service, you won't find a reason to visit any other dealership. And by Nutrien. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Every remaining new 2024 Yukon and Yukon XL now with up to $8,600 total savings. We are professional grade at Central Nebraska's premier GM dealer, Midway Chevrolet Buick GMC Kearney, or thinkmidway.com/GM.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com and by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on Twitter at NCN Sports for more highlights, interviews, rankings, and our full schedule.
Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett back with you here. There's some former Huskers in the crowd watching the ball game here. I'll let you do the diagnostics of who that gentleman is. But, hey, some folks are still doing Christmas, obviously, this weekend. So thanks for letting us into your home. Or if you're out and about watching all the bowl games and Kearney Lincoln Northeast at one of your favorite spots, thanks for having us with you. We are brought to you today by the Kearney Sportsplex, owned by the city of Kearney, and plans to open in the spring of 2025. It will feature a 59,000 square foot hardwood gym, 3,000 spectator bleachers, 8 regulation high school basketball courts, or you can turn those into 12 volleyball courts, or you can throw down over 20 wrestling mats. They've got it all for you. They're going to have pickleball courts, spectator seating, running and walking track as well. It's all at the Kearney Sportsplex.
Or you could have the biggest game of third grade tag that you've ever seen in your life. So if you have third graders in your life that really need to run off that holiday meal, I'm sure they could accommodate.
If you play some Tom Crop basketball where nothing is out of bounds, that would win you a little bit. Real quickly, earlier tonight in the girls' game, Kearney 66-44.
And exactly what you would want for Kearney High. Lots of scoring from lots of different players and lots of turnovers. For the Rockets, they really got turned over because of all the turnovers. They had 8 alone in the second quarter, then 8 of them more in the second half. The Rockets really undone by the Kearney High pressure. They had 22 total turnovers for their 66-44 win.
All right, you have been watching our halftime, brought to you by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. It's Kearney 39, Lincoln Northeast 29. The second half is next on NCN.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett. Again, thank you to all the folks that tune in to NCN, all the folks here at Northeast for their hospitality. We take a look at the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. It's Kearney 39, Lincoln Northeast 29. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today, Aurora Cooperative. And Kearney High is going to get the ball. Again, they were down 23-22, went on an 11-0 run. The teams exchanged back-to-back threes, Kearney getting the last 2. And this 10-point lead equaling their largest of the game. See what the changes are. Man-to-man here, it looks like from Northeast. Johnson picks up the dribble, gets it to Weber. Turnaround jumper, 15-footer, no good. Rebound brought down by Abdallah. And we'll see if they can get Mo going again. Good first quarter, nothing after that. Drive in, foul called, Houston to the line. Zarek Houston a little late getting up there. Hope he didn't land too awkwardly. Gets sandwiched in there. Looks like he'll be okay. Looks like he'll be okay as it's slapped right there in his face. Clears the eyes out, puts the free throw up, and can't get it to go. Second foul of the game on Kratzel. And twice we saw the Rockets put on quick little 5-7-0 runs. So we'll see if they can do it again here. They get the first point of the second half. Again, a key we talked about at the beginning of the game, Brandon, is rebounding, and I think Kearney has probably done the tick better job of that here. Not given, especially the Rockets, many second chance opportunities. As Johnson drives, got in the air, and going to be bumped. Looks like Fredericks will be called for the foul. You miss some of those threes like Northeast did in the second quarter. Usually you pick up 1 or 2 offensive rebounds. They didn't get very many.
And for Kearney High, they really have left some offensive rebounding opportunities on the floor, because come down Jacob Weber, for example, take a big three, nobody rebounding, just like now.
No good, but Krotzel's there. There's that missed 3 rerun we were talking about. Out Johnson, yep. Ben Johnson doesn't care where that 3-point line is. And now it's a 12-point lead, and Northeast going to have to find a way now. They don't want to let this one get away from them, even though they can make runs. Early in the second half, don't let Kearney grab the momentum from you. Houston, good pass underneath to the reverse layup. Oh, it's out of the rim, it wouldn't go. Great pass from Houston. They're probably going to need more of that. Johnson, defender on his hip, didn't get the foul call, lost the ball, 3-on-1. And Abdallah blocked by Weber off the glass. Weber gets it back. How about 3-on-1 the other way? Johnson, pull up 3 in transition. It's good. Ben frustrated that he turned it over a moment ago, and he answers with a 3 ball of his own.
One thing you don't want to have happen right now if you're rooting for Lincoln Northeast, Ben Johnson heating up. He's had 3 shots and 2 3-pointers.
Another good drive to the rack, and a foul going to be called on Hunt. Players hit the ground, and it'll be Fredericks to the line to shoot 2. Second on Hunt. Our high school basketball here on News Channel Nebraska. Third quarter brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms at Husker Rehab. Free throw no good. Rockets have probably missed a few too many free throws too. Haven't shot a million, but they're not shooting 90%. They're not shooting 80%. And that one's good. 45-31. Kearney's got a nice, comfortable lead. Problem in their 2 losses, they had to play from behind. Hot first halves from both Lincoln Southwest and Scottsbluff. Here, Lincoln Northeast has led just a couple of times. How about 3 in a row? No. Only on the video game, apparently. Abdallah brings it down into the double team. Hunt with a steal. Keegan probably doesn't get the recognition as he should. You talk about finding that 3rd score. Well, you got to play defense, and Hunt is doing a great job. Weber, 3, good. And you can just see the head drop there of Hayden Tenneper. He's guarding you at 20 feet. He's not guarding you at 23. And a timeout by Lincoln Northeast. 5.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter of play. And Kearney High has extended the 10-point halftime lead to 17. Bearcats 48, Rockets 31 on NCN.
Work or play in a big new Ram 3500 Laramie 4x4. Now with over $11,300 total savings. The wrap up the year sales event at Midway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Kearney or midwaycdjr.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Coming out of the Lincoln Northeast timeout is high school basketball on NCN, brought to you by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. Kearney High has built their largest lead of the game. It's 17. Houston, they're double teaming him. He doesn't care. All the way to the rack, and the playground layup won't go. Houston couldn't get it to go. Johnson couldn't get it to go. A couple things now you got to worry about at this point. Can't have Abdallah or Houston try to win it by themselves. And on the other end, especially defensively, as they lob it in, Abdallah back in the corner, 3-pointer by Schweitzer. They need it. They can't get it. They had a layup underneath. They passed it up, trying to go for the 3. For Kearney now, with Johnson and Weber hitting the 3s, now they've really got to come out on them. That's going to open everybody up on drive and dish, back cuts. So you got to be careful. It's a bad combination for Northeast right now.
And when you find those inside, Jake Krotzel 6'5", Leighton Piter 6'3", Keegan Hunt 6'4".
Tried to poke it away from Weber, and Weber made him pay. Goes in, and Jacob with the layup. He's on his way to 30. Kick it in the corner. Fredericks can't get the shot. Abdallah, there's some room in the lane. Ball fake, can't get him in the air. Kearney's defense pretty good right now. Left-hand drive, no good. Boy, against Southwest, Southwest made all those shots. Into the corner, the official in the way, but Krautzel found the ball. Back to Jake. He'll try the three. Long rebound, Ben Johnson. Kearney's got it all going their way right now, Brandon.
And for the Bearcats, just to be able to find that safe, smart point. Anytime you can get it to Ben Johnson, there's smart points right there.
That one will be on the highlights at the end of the ball game. Ben Johnson drives behind the back, off layup with the left hand. Weber knocks it away. Kearney smells blood in the water, and they're trying to put this one away.
And for the Rockets, they're just trying to hang on. You can see them not sub 1 or 2. They're subbing 3 right now. For the Bearcats, usual rotation, bringing Piter off, bringing Hunt on. Cabela and Bertrand coming in. This is a usual substitution for Kearney High. For Lincoln Northeast, they're just trying to stop the leak out of the dam.
Rockets just 2 points in this third quarter, trailing 52-31. Kearney has put up 13. Off the screen, Houston. Cabela makes him take the 18-footer, banked it in. Houston falls down trying to get the whistle, but wasn't there. But at least it's a bucket for Northeast. Here's Weber. He is fouled on the three. Harris, not the matchup they want. Harris should not be guarding Weber. Harris should be down low with Bertrand, but that's just the way Kearney moved the basketball. And 3 free throws coming up for Weber.
And for Jacob Weber, you really have to like that, shooting 85% from the free throw line.
Averaging 22, Johnson 22 and a half. He's already got that so far on the year, or on the evening tonight. This is Weber's night. As we said last time he was in Lincoln, just 1 field goal. Bunch of free throws, but 1 field goal. Second free throw for Weber. No good. You're getting 3. And again, for those that are watching Jacob for the first time, his dad, connections to UNK, connections to Coach Baranek. They moved back up from Arizona before Jacob's freshman year. And what an offseason he had. He's always been a great shooter, working on other parts of his game, especially defense. And he is listed around 50 to 60 right now by the national services in the junior class in the country. I mean, Nebraska, Creighton, so many people, not just Nebraska and Creighton, but a ton of Division I offers. And the three-pointer is good by Jefferson. And Coach Ritchie calls a timeout right after that. Try and turn something in here. So 21 down to 17, a 30-second timeout called by Lincoln Northeast. You're watching high school basketball here on NCN.
Hey, sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy Mart, snacks before the game.
This broadcast is brought to you by Platte Valley Auto. With our vast selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, exceptional car care, and custom service, you won't find a reason to visit any other dealership. And by Nutrien. Find your...
Again, a big thank you to our many fine sponsors. Kearney High out of the Northeast timeout, off the make. 54-37, Bearcats with the lead. 21-point lead down to 17 after the 3 by Marshawn Jefferson. Northeast just needs to stop here. And Kearney doing the right thing. They're going to work the shot clock for the first time in a while. Try to force it in. Ball deflected, but run back down there by Piter. Shot clock at 9. Johnson off the screen from Bertrand. Right side double team. He's in trouble. Has to just throw it up and makes it. And that's just a dagger for Northeast. They did everything right and still gave up 2. As the ball is poked away from Houston, it deflects off of his leg and out of bounds. What a crazy game.
What can you do? I mean, you did everything exactly as you said. You forced a bad shot. You forced Ben Johnson to the floor. You forced him to the baseline. You made him give up a contested shot. He had 1.5 hands in his face, did everything you could possibly do, and he still hits the shot.
Those are the next level players. The guys that can do that. figure out what you got to do and at least give yourself a chance. Rockets pack it in that zone. Hunt on the high post. Back out top. Ben. Ball fake. See, this is what we were talking about. Then you can kick it out. Piter for three. It's no good. Rebound Hunt. Back out top. Johnson. Weber. Down in the corner. Krotzel. Tries baseline. Behind the hoop. Oh, tried to make the pass out top. Houston's there. Houston's going to take it all the way to the other end. On Johnson. Draw the foul. But can't get the bucket to go. He'll have to earn it from the charity stripe. Well, coming up next, Lincoln Northeast will be back in action at home on Thursday. That's the second against Lincoln East. And then the boys and girls go to Omaha. The boys play Creighton Prep. The girls, of course, play Marion. For Kearney High, it's North Platte on January the 2nd. And then they're off for a full week before coming back down to take on Lincoln High. Houston looks for another one and gets it. 56-39, but that's 17 points. That is a heck of a cabin to try and dig yourself out of. With just 2 minutes to go here in the quarter, and Houston's going to help out. He's going to get the steal and go in for two. Oh, he didn't know what he wanted to do. He thought about dunking it, and he went on the wrong foot and didn't score it all. Weber for three, around and out, no good. He was trying to get the crowd into it. I don't blame him. He can do it. Now he's going to come to the other end and finish. So there's Eric Houston. Gets the two this time down the floor. And Kearney's going to use the timeout. Could have been 13 if he hits back-to-back layups. Instead, it's 15. But Coach Baranek wants to make sure that Lincoln Northeast can get going here. The lead from 21 down to 15, 56-41.
And especially for Houston, because in the first quarter he had 10 points. Cooled off in the second quarter. That's what allowed the Kearney High Bearcats to extend that lead. And then here in the third quarter, kind of quiet. And then all of a sudden, here comes Houston again. He's on his way to 20 points, and most of that is in the first and third quarters.
Well, you just take a look at the schedule ahead. We were talking about that, what Kearney High has ahead of them. Preseason number 3. And their losses are to 7-0, albeit Class B, but out at Scottsbluff. And then they lost to Lincoln Southwest, who shot lights out. And they only have one loss on the season. You take a look at what's up ahead of them here after today in the month of January. They play Lincoln North Star, who beat Northeast 84-83. There's a chance that Kearney, and they don't play a lot of games. They've got 6 games before the HAC tournament. I wouldn't go so far to say they're going to be the favorites in at least 5 of them.
I would say the same thing, and especially if you can keep everybody healthy and, like we've talked about throughout the broadcast, be able to find that third score. Right now, Jacob Weber pushing 30 points. Ben Johnson on his way to 15, maybe 17. And for right now, Jake Krotzel has 7. And Tyson Cabela has 3. Other than that, Kearney High only has 5 scores the entire game. Most of those coming from Weber and Johnson.
A little tougher for Northeast. Creighton Prep, Lincoln Southeast, Lincoln Southwest, Omaha Burke, all on the schedule in January. Kearney spread it out, using a little clock here. One way to slow down the other team is not let them have the ball. Weber to Hunt. 10 on the shot clock. Ball knocked away by Fredericks. But the way that Johnson and Weber are shooting the ball, even if you run the shot clock, you're probably still going to get at least a decent shot from one of those two. Johnson holds the ball. There's Weber. Catch, shoot deep 3, and just like that, really didn't do anything. They just spotted up Weber, and he buries a bomb. 59-41.
It's pretty easy if all you have to do to design an offense is just say, here, the ball.
Piter trying to do everything he can, doesn't get backside help, and Houston takes it in and put 2 more on the board.
No screens, no drives, just a simple pass, and for the Bearcats, an easy 3. For Houston, nice to see him as a senior try to do everything he can to keep his team in the game, scoring points and making the dish.
3 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock, so Kearney will have to do something here. 12 on the shot clock. Piter to Weber. Johnson, they're trying to get Weber. He's covered, so Johnson's going to have to make it work. Throws one up. It hit the rim. Kearney got the rebound. Play it out. Hunt will throw it up. See, everybody thinks that that's it when that buzzer goes off. Kearney could have scored right there, but there wasn't enough time left. And that's the end of the third quarter. So a big hill to climb here at home for Northeast. They were down 10 at half. Now they're down 16. Kearney 59, Lincoln Northeast 43. You're watching Heartland Athletic Conference basketball on News Channel Nebraska.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech program and become part of the Landmark difference.
This broadcast is brought to you by Platte Valley Auto. With our vast selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, exceptional car care, and custom service, you won't find a reason to visit any other dealership. And by Nutrien. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Kearney High going for the doubleheader sweep tonight. The girls won 66-44. Kearney boys now 59-43, but the Rockets get the ball. Lincoln Northeast just needs a good start here to the fourth quarter. Get this thing to 10 quickly, and then you got yourself a chance in the ball game. We saw them erase a 7-point first quarter deficit in about 45 seconds, so we know they can score. Houston drives into the corner. Here comes Abdallah. He's been quiet and missed the layup. Boy, they've missed a few of those since the first quarter. Johnson cleans it up to Weber. He's going to take it off balance. Three, no good. Tough shot that time from Weber. Rebound, outlet, nearly stolen away by Krotzel, but Houston finds a way, works his way through traffic into the corner. Three ball on the way, and there's one that finally goes. Schweitzer knocks it down. It's 13. Lead was 21 not that long ago. So it's all about the Rockets getting stops because we know they can score, Brandon.
They really can, and they can score from so many ways. They have four players who score in at least double digits.
Johnson into the corner. Piter tries a three and hits it. So you got the big boys, the high scorers scoring, and then you get your role players to knock one down. This is the fourth quarter brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at Lincoln.org. From way downtown, from the capital, it won't go. Which isn't that far for you playing at Lincoln High, but if you're playing at Lincoln Northeast, that's a long, long way away. So Weber now with the basketball. Kearney content to take some air out of the ball. Inside, Johnson, nice pass, Krotzel, layup. Everybody's eyes are on Johnson and Weber outside, and talked about that just after halftime, and that's one of the couple times that Kearney's been able to do that and get the layup.
And even if you don't draw players outside the three-point arc, point was Johnson. He was high post, left Krotzel low post, wide open.
And the Rockets need some help for Zarek. He tries the step back three, and it goes out of bounds. Hit the rim and hit the standard, so it's out of bounds. But just not hitting enough shots. They hit a cold streak. Rockets, you can definitely see how they score 80 points, but just some of the shots that were open looks in the first half wasn't falling for them. And you don't expect to hit every single one of them, but there's been some chinks in the defense of Kearney. There's been some looks. Johnson dribbling out some time at half court. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Kearney comfortably up by 18. Nobody moving. Johnson uses the screen from Krotzel. Back cut Weber, but it's a little bit behind him. Jacob couldn't grab it. Great idea. Run out to the other end. The layup, no good. Krotzel might have got a little bit of that. Hit the backboard, no good. Baseball pass to the other end. Weber takes it in and scores on the assist from Ben Johnson. So once again, you get a 4-point switch right there, and the lead's 20, and that should be good enough for the Bearcats, despite over 5 minutes to go. They had cut it to 13, 7 in a row. Abdallah's three, no good. And you can just see the air has seeped out of the tires. There's not a lot of confidence left right now for Northeast, even though they're playing hard. And Johnson fights his way through a foul to score. Ben with the flex and the foul. Well, it's fun tonight for Kearney. It's not for Northeast. That's just kind of the bottom line. Pretty good talent on both sides. Rockets are going to bring Parra and Schweitzer back, or Parra and Jefferson back in.
And for Lincoln Northeast, that is not at all what you wanted in their last offensive set. You made 2 passes. One of those looked at a shot, couldn't make it, made your second pass, then a three-pointer. Run some offense, find an open receiver, find who's going to be open. Up high, down low, free throw line extended. Your offense will generate the open shooter. They didn't do that. Made a pass, looked, made a pass, shot, came down. Kearney High scored.
And Kearney High is on another 10-0 run. Their biggest lead of the night. Abdallah, spin move in a paint, kicks it into the corner for a Parra 3, and it goes out of bounds. Boy, not a lot of luck. That's about the 4th one of those in the game for Northeast. But you can tell there's some talent on this Rocket Ball Club. And in Lincoln, man, they know each other. Kearney throws it away. Northeast has decided to put some pressure on here with 4:45 to go, and it immediately results in a Kearney turnover. Don't forget, coming up in the post game, our interview and player of the game, brought to you by Sarpy County Tourism. Plan your getaway at gosarpy.com. And Abdallah finally able to knock another one down. Stops the 10-0 run, and Ben Johnson dribbled out of bounds on the far side. So a couple turnovers here for Kearney High.
Here in the second quarter, we talked about how Kearney High was a little bit loose with the ball. They had 6 turnovers at halftime, only 2 since.
Been some great, little bumping back and forth. Piter's going to get the call. Been some great plays in this basketball game. Can't wait to recap them with our top plays after the game. Brought to you by Southeast Community College and our friends at Tom Dinsdale Auto. Thanks to both. Here's Houston. How does he keep his balance as he walks the tightrope and finger rolls it in? And Houston, no problem. Weber, there's a problem. Knocked off his foot and out of bounds. Coach Beranek say slow it down. Hard to do. Hard to do. You had the numbers. You got the talent. You had the bucket. Just slipped through his hands. Coach Beranek's going to call another timeout despite being up 19 with 4:18 to go. There's a lot of season left, and he's coaching them for down the stretch. He's not coaching them for the remainder of this game. He's talking about down the stretch, the second half of the season, and we're not even to the halfway point of the season.
And for Coach Drake Beranek and even his brother Connor Beranek, how many times would they, when they have numbers, they're up by almost 20, how many times would they, when they were in high school or when they played college, how many times would they have pulled the ball back? So it's the coach versus the player trying to instill in the player what the coach didn't always do when he was a player.
And I'm sure when Drake did that, Father and Coach Paul took the suit coat off. I think that might be the main reason Drake doesn't wear the jacket. There's no need to put it on if you're just going to take it off early in the ball game. Always one of the great staples. And just, while we're talking about the great days back at Ravenna, I know a lot of folks around the state know the tragedy that happened there on Christmas night. We just want to give our thoughts and prayers from the NCN family to the Riesbeck family and all those that were affected by that tragedy on Christmas night in Ravenna. And boy, the boys came out yesterday, got a nice win. They're playing again today in their holiday tournament. Great community, and tragedy anytime that it happens to any youngster at any point. But just our thoughts going out to the Blue Jay community. Let's get back to basketball. Here comes Abdallah again. Can't get it to go. Boy, he's got a good drive. He's got a good left-handed jumper. It's just not fallen since the first quarter. Johnson, finally Houston's going to get up on him, try and force the turnover. He'll get rid of it to Piter. Run to the baseline. Krautzel's open almost all the time here as they try to overplay the ball, going for the steal, and Kearney just doing a great job of milking clock. Down to 10 on the shot clock, and Houston finally reaches in and commits the foul. That resets the shot clock. It's only the second foul, so we're not into a free throw situation, and the lead is too big to start that foul free throw situation the way it is. But after a while, you're just going, tired of you dribbling the ball. Do something with it. Johnson even takes a little time before bringing it back into the front court, trying to avoid the trap. Houston and Jefferson up there providing the defense. Piter trying to be shoving off balance. Now he just decides, I'm going to take it in, and a foul will be called. Parra came over, try and stop the dribble drive. So to the line will be Piter. He and Cabela probably going to be switching back the 5- and 6-man role. And just seeing them grow already. You talked about it, finding more than just the big two. I kind of thought Krotzel was going to be the number 3. Piter's playing great defense in there. Cabela, and then Hunt, of course. Free throw on the way, and that one's good as well. 71 on the board tonight for the Kearney High Bearcats. They put up 83 against Elkhorn South in an opening night win, and then 88 against an overmatched Omaha Bryan team. But those are two teams that haven't won a game yet. So this a little bit more impressive, and Jacob Weber gives a little hip to Abdallah on the drive, and I think they called that before the shot, Brandon.
They did, because he was elevating. He did a good job of finger rolling the reverse. Would have been a highlight reel had it gone and one. But in this case, the ball was on the floor.
Three minutes to go. All that's left to be determined is the score. Pars 3 won't go. Weber can't get to the ball as Houston beats him to it. And Zarek is fouled again by Weber. And it'll be back to the Rockets underneath their own hoop. Wants to finish strong here, the Bearcats do. Abdallah, oh, nice pass underneath. And again, the layup is missed, and you can see the Northeast fans just put their hands on their head. How can that happen? Everybody, Houston came out top for a 3. 2 guys went with him, and that just left Schweitzer wide open, and some nights it's just not your night.
I think that's the 3rd, maybe the 4th easy layup gimme that they've missed, but sometimes you just get so rattled, your focus goes away from you. You lose that opportunity, and in that case, that could be 6 or 8 points on the board, making it a little bit of a closer game.
Yeah, Abdallah with the foul. Don't forget our player of the game coming up, brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center. Looking forward to talking to our player of the game, and also by Roe Buick, Grand Island, and Aurora. Little scramble for the ball, stolen away, and then thrown away. An exchange of turnovers. Parasasa Schweitzer, and just overshot it. You just want to make it happen so quick. Northeast knew the situation coming into the 4th quarter and probably missed a couple because they were trying to go too quick. Kearney's just ready to get to the finish line and head west. Abdallah with the foul. And that will put Kearney in the bonus. We'll see what Coach Ritchie wants to do now. It's 21-10. Kind of the moment you go to the bench, that's when you quit fouling. Shouldn't be intentionally fouling at this point anyway, but again, trying to get the steal, trying to poke it away. They did it last time. And the Fort Hays State signee, Ben Johnson, up and in. Don't forget, we'll be following these teams throughout the year on NCN. Thanks again to our replay sponsors, including Beatrice Community Hospital, incredible care, incredibly close, and our friends at Meade Lumber, brought to you by Meade Lumber, making you feel at home from design to finish. So Piter will check out. Northeast might be waiting for Kearney to sub too. The unwritten rule that we don't talk about many of them in basketball. Abdallah backs down, Krotzel fadeaway jumper up and in. So Mo knocks down a tough shot. Under 2 minutes to go. Cats up 21, 73-52. Northeast will drop to 4-2. Kearney will be 6-2. Try to trap Johnson. Spin move. Got himself in some trouble, but found Krotzel. Dumps it into the corner for Weber. Weber back up top. No need to shoot. Running clock as we're down to 90 seconds to go. Johnson drives, switches hands, back to the right hand, and puts it up and in.
That's just Ben Johnson doing Ben Johnson things. Top of the lane, didn't have anything, pulled up, found another teammate, got the ball back, and then took it hard to the hole.
Cabela reaches out and commits the foul, and that will allow players to check in here for Kearney High. We will see Slaymaker, Rodriguez check in for Kearney High, and also Draper will check in. Minute 21 to go. Bearcats up 75-52. Northeast Para off the screen, into the paint, into the corner. He'll find Kaufman back to Jefferson. Parra again in the paint. That time he'll take it up, no good. Rebound brought down by Draper. Luke into the front court, Cabela. As we're down to the final minute. Swings it over to Slaymaker. Evan gets rid of it, knocked away, scrambled for the ball. Goes out of bounds despite Rodriguez's opportunity and effort to go get it. And coming in for the Lincoln Northeast Rockets, here's Quincy Montoya. Also see Sully Nieswanger. He'll throw the ball in. And again, our post game coming up here on NCN, our player of the game. We'll talk with Coach Drake Moronic after the victory tonight as well. Inside Harris with the move with the right hand. Elijah Harris will score. And Kearney High now can run out the clock. Bearcats are going to call timeout just to make a substitution. You're going to bring Martin in. So Gearns Martin, another senior on this roster, going to check in. Kearney doesn't have to shoot it, but you got some new faces in there, so everybody wants to get a chance to get your name in the scorebook, and instead they turn it over, and Kaufman is going to get two on the other end. That'll get it inside 20. Bertrand hands it off to Slaymaker, to Draper. Probably run the clock out here and not take a shot. Let's find out. Martin with it. Martin wants to get a shot away, you can tell. Gets bumped off balance. And now Kearney will just hold it, and that'll bring us to the end of this Heartland Athletic Conference boys contest. Kearney bounces back from a tough loss out at Scotts Bluff and ends Lincoln Northeast just their second loss of the season by a score of 75-56. As we said, Kearney High will be back in action at home on January the 2nd, Thursday against North Platte, and Lincoln Northeast also here at home Thursday against Lincoln East. Coming up, the player of the game, the coach, Drake Moronic, highlights and a recap here on News Channel Nebraska Television.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech Program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech Program and become part of the Landmark difference.
Hi, I'm Baylor Shireman, proud to call Aurora, Nebraska home. From dreaming big in a small town to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, I've always aimed for the best. That's why I rely on Roe Buick in Grand Island and Roe Chevrolet in Aurora for my vehicles. When you're driven to succeed, you choose a winning team. Before you drive away in your next car, check with the team that knows how to win. Roe. It's the Roe you know.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
And welcome back to Lincoln Northeast, a Christmas gift for the Kearney High Bearcats. Bouncing back off that tough loss last week. Kids came out, shot the ball well. It helps when the ball's going in the hole. Coach Drake Moronic with us. What do you think about the performance?
Well, it's amazing when offense goes good, defense flies around a little bit. We made an adjustment there to fly at Lazarick, and our guys were flying around like madmen, finishing off defensive rebounds. We talked before the game about I want to know one thing that we got better at when we get done with this game. I think we're going to have a few things we can talk about.
What about the defense? Because the way the game started, it looked like we could end up in the 80s. You kind of slowed them down. They missed some shots in the second quarter. What do you attribute that to?
Some of that's just flying around and maybe playing a little faster than they maybe are accustomed to. But our guys guarded hard, and we got guys in spots where they're supposed to be, and we communicated a little bit better. But there's some simple things that we've been working on to try to be a better defensive team, and some of that showed today.
Jacob was hot tonight. Everybody did their job to just talk about when Jacob gets it going?
He's a tough player to guard. The best part is when we start sharing it early and it comes back to him, and then he knocks down some daggers for us. And so a lot of guys stepped up and played well. We made some great plays at the end of the first half. Ben shared it. I thought we were moving it pretty good offensively. Guys were making plays. It was just a really fun win for us that we really needed.
Finally, Drake, I mentioned during the broadcast, if you're in a conference, you know your guys, but in Class A, all the coaches know all the coaches. You had a special connection. How much did each other know the game plan tonight?
Yeah, Monty's a great coach. He's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and so it's always fun to go against the guys you respect and you know well. So we have some stories back from college that we're going to keep to ourselves, and we're going to go share this victory with our guys.
All right, Coach, we'll see you next year.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, January 2nd. Let's bring in Jacob Weber, player of the game tonight, lit it up. A lot better than the last time you were in Lincoln, wasn't it, Jacob?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was.
Tell me a little bit about when you get it going. We hear it, shooters shoot. I watch Baylor Shireman. You can watch anybody you want. When do you know?
I think you kind of just got to know even before the game even starts. Like, it's always going to feel good in warm-ups, but a big thing is just seeing that first one go in. I think if you start a game 0 for 2, a lot of shooters or just overall players will kind of, they'll not trust their shot as much. And so even if you start off a game like streaky or you're not feeling it, you just got to, whether it's get to the free throw line or get easy ones, once you see those first couple go in, I think that's when it kind of opens it all up, and then you feel like you can kind of take more shots that you're just confident in your shot and it going in once you see some going through.
Jacob Weber's our player of the game. Kearney High gets the win tonight, 75-56. A lot of people think, okay, you shoot threes and you make a lot of layups. First one tonight was a design play to get you down low.
Right. I think a big thing that a lot of people don't understand is just with my height, I'm able to rise up over the smaller defenders and score on them. Even though I might not be as strong, a big thing is just getting a good base and being able to take 1-2 hard dribbles, and then I'm long enough I can jump up in the air and I'm higher than them. So a lot of those shots that even look kind of contested, they don't feel as contested because their hands aren't quite as high. So yeah, I think a big part is just understanding when, and just like I said earlier, just getting those easy ones first. Getting it in the post and being able to get an open, close look to the rim, it's going to open up tons of things because now they're more focused on your driving, and that's when you get the wide open threes.
A lot has been put on the team's shoulders, highly ranked. You and Ben, a lot about you guys. So there's a couple losses to wake everybody up a little bit. How do you feel this team is now 1 month into the season?
I think we've struggled early defensively a lot, but I think a big thing is just defenses are throwing all sorts of stuff at us. It's never the same every game. So there's going to be certain games where I'm getting guarded extremely hard. There's going to be certain games Ben gets guarded extremely hard, and I think that's when the other players have to kind of get the confidence and step up. And I think they did that tonight more than they did in the other games especially, but just anybody. We're going to need people to step up as I'm getting guarded harder later in the season and Ben's getting guarded hard later in the season. So I think once we can kind of get those pieces and fit them in the puzzle right, and we get those other guys kind of their confidence levels up, we're going to be good.
Jacob, congratulations on a great performance and a Bearcat win.
Thank you.
Jacob Weber, player of the game tonight for Kearney High. We'll take a look at the highlights when we return on NCN.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out the great pre-winter offers.
2024 Ford F-250 starting at only $47,999, or choose 1.9% financing with approved credit. Check out ZollnerFordBeatrice.com for our $399 a month lease specials on many models in stock. Check out the 2024 full-size hardtop Broncos starting as low as $39,999. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
This broadcast is brought to you by Tom Dinsdale Auto. Celebrating 20 years, Tom Dinsdale Automotive is proud to be community-driven. And by News Channel Nebraska. Follow us on X at NCN Sports.
All right, Doug Duda, Brandon Bennett's back with you here, and thanks so much to Drake Baronic. Our interview brought to you by Sarpy County Tourism, and of course our player interview brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center and Roe Buick. Let's get into our top plays of the ball game, brought to you by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu now and discover your path to possible. Had two teams coming in, Brandon, that could put the ball in the bucket.
We knew that Kearney High was going to average a little more than 70 points for Lincoln Northeast. They were going to average just under 70. Lots of points tonight, just like we figured.
Here's Mo Abdallah getting things going after Kearney jumped out 5-0. Northeast scored 7 in a row. Then driving in and answering with the two-handed dunk is going to be Ben Johnson. Going to see a lot more of that as the year progresses. Johnson again, baseball pass to the other end. Jake Krotzel takes it in. And this is where Kearney really got things kind of going in this basketball game as they swing things over into the second quarter of play, moving it from 7 up to 10. And then you see back-to-back threes knocked down out there by Hayden Teneper. The problem was Jacob Weber, our player of the game, who did end up with 33 in the game tonight, hit back-to-back threes to take the lead from 4 to 10 at halftime, and it never got any closer than that, Brad.
It really didn't, because Kearney High led by 2 at the end of 1. They led by 10 at the end of the second quarter, and then at the end of the third quarter, they extended that to 16, and then, of course, our final score of 19.
Then Ben Johnson showing his range, knocking it down from the outside. Johnson then behind the back, whoop, and up off the glass and in. How do you defend that? That's just athleticism. Houston has it. Abdallah had it for Lincoln Northeast. Kearney's got players that can do it. That takes us into the fourth quarter. You thought maybe with this three-pointer going in, it cut it to 13, 59-46. First possession there by Schweitzer, but then Kearney goes on a 10-0 run and puts this basketball game away. Part of that is Hunt getting it inside, back out Piter. He'll bury the three-pointer, and the 10-0 run begins to take it up to 23. And Kearney High with Ben Johnson takes it in, gives the flex, fights through the foul, and still gets the and one. And Kearney High picks up their 6th win of the year with the victory tonight, 75-56 over Lincoln Northeast.
Sometimes you have a loss. Maybe you shouldn't have lost, but the scoreboard is what it is. What you do the next game is probably even more important, and in that case, you just have to keep plugging away. And for the Bearcats, a nice bounce-back win. After going 4.5 hours to the northwest, they go 2 hours to the east, get a big win.
We'll wrap things up on NCN right after this.
'Tis the season to buy at the Get Holiday Ready sales event at Woodhouse Ford. Find the perfect gift for someone special or yourself. Unwrap incredible savings on our top models, from the spacious Expedition to the rugged F-150. Plus, the year-end savings are here. Celebrate the season with reduced prices and holiday bonuses on all remaining 2024 vehicles. Browse our inventory online or visit us at one of our 3 convenient locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Well, Well, you can see the gym closing out. People want to get out of here as they're going to be quiet for a couple of days. There will be some more holiday tournaments next week. Kearney High back on the 2nd. Our next NCN broadcast will be on the 2nd. Columbus taking on Norfolk on Thursday. Friday, we've got Gretna Hastings, and 1 week from today, Pius taking on Scott. Oh, my. Scott's off to a great start, and Pius not too bad either. Pius dropping out of the hack, so they're not playing a lot of the teams that they normally would, and seeing some other schools in Class B. But Brandon, it went well for Kearney tonight. 66-44 in the girls and 75-56 here in the boys. But Northeast will be winning some more games over the second portion of the season.
And when we say Northeast, they're going to be winning games. It's the girls and the boys. The girls very, very young. They start a freshman, lots of sophomores, lots of juniors, not even really a senior that contributes a lot. They're going to get better and better as the year and the years go on. For the Lincoln Northeast boys, they have a lot of talent, a lot of guys that can score, but when you run into the buzzsaw that is a concentrated, dedicated, focused Kearney High team, it's really difficult to win.
All right, that's going to wrap things up. Thanks to all our cameramen, including Josiah, who did his best to make us look presentable on camera. Our producer, Dan